So, sorry. Bad. I mean, I don't know. My camera cut off, but part three. Hopefully, last part to this video, and then I'll be done. But back to this addiction with my son's father. So the reason why he became an addiction over the years is because I'm 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 gonna be a woman about this shit, and I'm not gonna be ashamed about it because why should I be anyway? I enjoyed myself anyway. I was addicted to this man in several ways, from his friendship, him being nice to me, giving me what I needed. Because after a while of being apart, we finally spoke again and we started to see each other, like physically seeing each other, meaning he was coming to visit me, I was going to visit him. And then he told me he was moving. So he moved from Harlem to Brooklyn, and it took about a couple of years to get it all done because he was going through his crisis as well, and he was back and forth in jail. He was, going through the whole court system thing, and I felt like I had to be there for him. And it's funny, I know y'all gonna say he wasn't there for you and your son. Why would you be there for him throughout his whole time in court? I don't know, but I guess it's the good person in me that wanted to be there for him. And I visited him in jail more than once. I was there for him when he left, when he finally finished with the whole court system thing. I was there for him when he was injured, when he was suing the cops that hit him, injured him, and he was always on the phone with me, like almost every single day. And that moment turned into the next 3 years. And it and then it wasn't until August of 2020 where we finally realized how much we did love each other. And I meant every word I say. He meant more to me than I did to him. And I started to really see it, like, clearly, that my love and his love was not on the same level. Our love for each other was not the same. Our respect for each other wasn't the same. But somehow we always trying to find ways to get along and see each other. And another reason why I was so addicted to him was because of the sex. We were sleeping with each other time and time again, like constantly throughout the last couple of years. Whether, even when I was single, in between relationships, if I was to take a break from dating, it was coincident that he was always coming around and he was ready to give himself to me, and I never said no to it. I couldn't even bring myself to say no to it. And then I realized after talking to my therapist that I had a crazy sex addiction. And at first I was embarrassed about it because I didn't know if I was going to be judged by anybody, including my therapist. But no one judged me. If anything, they will laugh about the situation and be like, girl, we all have a sex addiction. At some point, we're going to realize that. But no, nobody's sex addiction was that bad like mine's. Mine's was serious. It was pretty serious because it wasn't a day go by that I didn't have sex. And with him, it was always constantly, like, we tried to see each other as much as 4 or 5 times a week. And he would constantly come over and spend a night. And even when he was in a relationship with his second baby mother, we were still together. Like, we were still dealing with each other. And I felt like we had like a bond slash soul tie. And I brought it to his attention last year when we saw each other again during the summer. And what I noticed that consistently every year he was coming to my house in the summertime going into the winter. And it was like this for years, since 2016. And then what's funny is that I wasn't expecting to see him ever again after the last meeting. because I realized, like, it really hit me that this man was only coming to me for sex. And it messed me up emotionally because I was falling in love with this man. I was addicted to this man. Everything about him I was addicted to. And then at one point I had a conversation with another male lover of mine's that he understood my relationship with my son's father. So that's why he didn't trip. And I was telling him, like, I don't know what I saw in him. I don't know why I'm still dealing with him. But something is gonna eventually put a stop to it and it's gonna tell me, like, give me signs to leave him alone. And I was very stubborn at the time. Like, seriously, anybody could tell you I was very stubborn. If you tell me to stop talking to somebody, you're gonna have to give me a good reason, or I'm just gonna just let that words go from one end out the other. I didn't care what anything was saying to me. Like, if a big neon sign was in my face saying stop messing with Sean, I would not stop messing with him unless there was a good reason why. And then I had people tell me also leave him alone because he's clearly showing you that he's only coming to you with sex. How do you even feel about it? And then I really did have friends telling me, like, you don't feel so bad about it, like it doesn't fuck with you, it doesn't do anything. And at one point I was like, no, it really didn't. I guess it didn't hit me because at the time I was too busy having fun, and then I was too busy curing my addiction. Like, I was too busy all into it. And like I said, the addiction starts with the feelings, the emotions, and then there's the mental part. When you're bored, you have nothing to do, and it's like mostly at night when you're sitting at home alone watching TV, it's like you starting to feel some type of way, and then the first thing you think of is that one person that could satisfy your needs the most. And it was like this all the time. So now 2022 is here, and after dealing with this man and his drama for years, I got sick and tired of it. And then at one point, he started to slip notes under my door early in the morning and then going about his business for the day. And I'm saying here, like, why you keep slipping notes under my door? And knowing this man, he could contact me on my phone or on social media, but he chose to slip notes under my door. So after all these months of doing that, I finally confronted him and see what he really wanted, because after he left me alone for 5 months, no contact whatsoever, now you all of a sudden want to jump back in my life and you want to start this whole thing all over again, this whole merry-go-round. I finally said to myself that enough was enough. And now that it's starting to hit me, and why it's starting to hit me now is because after he left me alone, like I said, for 5 months, it gave me enough, that was enough time he gave me to think about my whole life, think about my decisions, and think about how I should approach this decision with him, to let him know that what he's giving me is not what I'm looking for anymore. And what I'm looking for now, that I've been craving for years, was a relationship. I wanted to be married, and being around people that was always happy and in love inspired me to want to be in love and in a loving relationship with somebody that is worth my time, that's worth my energy, and that will take me serious and look at me as a potential wife. And then, like I said, I had to wake up to reality and let my feelings get hurt and let a few people teach me a valuable lesson when it comes to love, life, and boundaries. And that was one thing I didn't have, was boundaries with this man, because I was addicted to him. And the logic side of me should have been like, instead of you curing your flesh, why don't you cure your heart? Your poison is starting to take hold of you, and people starting to notice it, because you can't give nobody your attention unless they satisfy your flesh. And then meeting a lot more Christian friends, because I met a lot of Christian friends on social media, it really got to me, and then got to me psychologically, to the point that now I need to start to switch everything up and start to take my life more serious. And it wasn't until January when I said that I wanted to be married. It hit me, it woke me up. I want to be married. I wanted to be a wife. I wanted to be a mom again. And I saw myself having 3 to 4 kids. And then I was like, stop kidding yourself. Like, why would you want to put yourself through this another year? Put a stop to it. So long story short, I spoke to him the weekend of the 4th of July, which was on Friday, and I let him know this has to end. And I told him, do not bring your monkey ass to my house ever again. Don't call me. Don't slip notes under my door. It's over between us. This merry-go-round is over. This sexual relationship we had for 13 years is now over. We never really did had a loving relationship because you never wanted me that way. You was holding that type of relationship down with other women and then kept coming to me only for sex and just to trouble bond. And I was not that person. I was like, yo, I don't understand why I even put myself in that position. But now I learned my lesson. And for some reason, you don't want to end things with me. So now I have to end it. And I have to end it in a very disrespectful way because he was constantly taking me for a joke and kept laughing at everything that I was saying. And then he finally took me serious when I hit him where it hurt the most. And I think emotionally he was really hurt because I explained to him about how he was going around solving his problems he had with his current girlfriends by sleeping with new females and getting them pregnant. And he was doing this to 3 women. How did you go around New York City trying to do that thinking it was okay? And then you had a nerve to try to ask me, or you sitting here telling me that your goal was to have as many kids as you want and then trying to get the baby mothers to be cool with each other and have a relationship with each other because we all have the same baby fathers. That's not what you do and that's not how you do things. So therefore, since you feel like that was the right way to do shit, I had to leave you alone because I started to see that you really think this was a real fucking game. You thought this was okay and it wasn't. And then I was like, okay, now I had to hurt your feelings because I was like, yo, your parents must be turning in their grave knowing that their son is going out here being an asshole and a dirty asshole. And then you trying to sit here 1 minute you craving for me, next minute you're insulting me. I'm like, stick to one emotion. You're mad because I put you in your place, told you about yourself, and ended it with you. And then I'm starting to see you really are a narcissistic person. And then on top of that, you feel like you could guilt trip me, and you can't. Nobody in my entire life ever tried to guilt trip me. And if they did, I didn't notice it because guess what? I don't let nobody get to me in that way. So I had to stand up for myself and stand up to him and let him know this was it. This 13 year charade, it was over. The games is over with. I'm done. The whole sexual thing was over with. And I'm no longer a sex addict. And I was no longer craving for sex as much as I used to. Now I'm craving for a marriage. Now I'm craving for a life, a family life, and a career. And then on top of that, I'm manifesting all of this, even financial wise, to be completely stable, completely abundant, and completely healthy. And I'm working on my health as it is right now. It's like I'm seeing the doctors. I changed different medications for my health problems because as you know, I have a thyroid issue. I have other chronic illnesses. So ain't no way in hell I'm gonna live the rest of my life doing what I was doing with this guy and think it was okay. And he was pretty pissed. And ever since that day, I was kind of hurt by it. I was really hurt because it took a toll on me. I felt the effects and so did he because he was constantly texting me insults after insults, and I was like, you know what? I don't care. I could laugh at it and say that it's your loss. And then on top of that, you did it to yourself when you made those decisions. I made the decisions to keep coming for you, keep coming to you for sex, and you made a decision to keep using me and then try to make as many kids as you can and try and get us all to be one big happy family. And you was really trying to press that issue for years, trying to make it happen, and it didn't work. So now that I woke up and finally seen the truth and I stood up to him, I felt a lot better about this shit. No longer would I ever put myself in that position ever again and hurting myself at that. I deserve better. If I've been praying for better and been manifested for better, why would I still keep myself in that position for years? So yeah, I try to make sense out of this shit. And I was like, no longer will we ever be in contact with each other. And it's not even, I can't even be contacting with you on some friendship type shit because you would make it look like it was all about the sex. Like you would turn that into a whole thing like, oh, she's still keeping in contact with me. She think we're going to be friends when it's all about the sex. I'm going to keep coming to her for sex. No, that's not what you're going to do. And no longer will I give my body freely to you with ease when this is supposed to be for my husband and you're not that. So guess what? feel free to move on and leave me the hell alone. And I don't care what you have to say about that. I don't care how you feel about that. And he was completely pissed. Like, you would never see a real narcissistic attitude and behavior until you really hit them where it hurts. And when you finally let them know that their access to you is cut off, they get really angry with it. And guess what? Now, be prepared to hear them say the worst shit out their mouths to you or try to hurt you in any way. But like I say, thank God that I am divinely protected. Thank God I have the strength and it's like, thank God I am me, because I protect myself from being hurt. No matter what anybody says to me, it's not going to get to me in that way to the point you're going to make me depressed and cry. I'm going to laugh at you and keep telling you to keep it moving. Words is just your words. Okay, but your actions spoke louder, and guess what? You taught me how to keep moving and keep living my life. Thank you for that. And it made me a stronger person. So thank you for that as well. And I thank God for giving me that strength to pick myself up and move on and not turn back, not look back and not beg for anything, because I feel like I should not have to beg for nobody to respect me, to love me, or to give me what I've been craving for years. And I felt like I was disappointing my family and my grandmother because I didn't give her what she wanted, which was, a college degree and marriage and have kids and move on to a beautiful home in the suburbs or in another city or country. Because at the end of the day, she wanted me to be a career woman. She wanted me to have my own home, to be married to an amazing, wealthy, and loving man, someone I could trust and give my all to. And here I am doing the opposite. So I was like, no, it's time for a change. And guess what? That change has come, and I'm still doing what I need to do. I'm still into my whole education thing. I'm still working and doing what I need to do. And my priorities is different now. And I have the strength of the ox. I have the mindset and the strength to keep it moving and not let nothing stop me. So what I'm saying to everybody that's been in my position, thank you for teaching me. And for people that's in my position currently, please find the strength to get up and get out of that relationship. Right now, at this point, your self-respect, your dignity is more important than anything else. I don't care how good looking the man is. I don't care how good his sex is. It's not worth your respect. It's not worth screwing up everything you've been working hard for. And for the ones that's really been busting their asses trying to make their lives better, you trying to have the career that you want, the life that you want, and you see yourself being a wife, you want to be married with kids, get yourself out of that predicament. It's only going to destroy you. We know the sex is amazing, it's addictive, but so will your husband. Your kingdom husband will please you in every way, not just with your flesh, but with your soul. Find somebody that feeds your soul, that could bond with you on a spiritual level rather than on a physical. Find somebody who looks at you and feel like in their heart that this is the one that they want, that they can't live without. Don't find somebody and think because this person is either like being verbally abusive or using you for sex, whatever the case is, don't confuse that with love. Love, it doesn't cost you a thing. It doesn't hurt you, and it doesn't use you for sex. It doesn't degrade you. Love doesn't make you feel like you have to choose between your sanity and a man. Love is not what destroys you from the inside out, making you feel low as dirt. Okay, and there's so many things that comes along with that, and you don't want that. Choose better for yourself, because that's what I just did, and I feel way better about it now. I'm not going to let this bother me, so I'm happy that my 13-year addiction is done and over with. And ever since then, I wake up every morning feeling much better about myself. And it's going to take time for me to heal, but my kingdom husband is close to me, and I feel him every single day. And until he comes to me, I'm going to continue to concentrate on my life and do what I need to do. And I'm not letting no one stop me from anything. So that was my story, and I hope y'all like it. I hope this helps y'all and teaches y'all something. And until then, I will see y'all next week.